Hi there. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Just here to talk angels, the universe, change is coming, awareness is on the horizon for mankind. Um, this is bigger than you think it is. It's bigger than thinking itself. That's simply because this isn't about thinking. I think mankind has been wrestling with the concept of being here for thousands of years. We can be a little more gentle, a little more slowing our roll, a little more trusting and in flow state, if you want, newest phraseology in the last couple of years. We can do more of this and a little less of this. This is all the knowing that we do that precludes possibility. I'd unfortunately say it's a big portion of science and everything else, business, corporate America, you name it. But if you really take a close look, most of the fun stuff in life happens when you're here. Most of the excellence that happens when you're in the moment, whether it's sports, business, it's when you're here. Up here is kind of fuddy-duddy. It's what happens when you do a little too much adulting. You see it in all the movies. And kids know it's more fun to be here. I think some adults have figured it out as well. Um, but so the universe is really big, duh. And you've got a lot of activity going on in the skies all over the place. And wait till 2025 or 2026. We're not alone in the universe, but remember, everyone's good where they are. You can think anything you want, and you're going to go ahead and do that regardless of what I say or anyone else says. It's the nature of thinking itself. It's unfortunately 1% of 1% of negativity itself or density. It's judging, reacting, resisting, stress, fear, predominantly fear, because again, it blocks off all the potentiality that does exist as a constant everywhere. That's love, or that's opening openness, as Tibetan Buddhists would say. And it doesn't matter what your fabric is, what you wear, which organization you're in, which value system you adhere to. There's trillions of value systems. There's trillions of ways to think. And I wouldn't want to change one person's thinking at all. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I do help people connect to the universe with no boundaries or barriers. And what does that mean? It just means a little less of this and a little more of this. You get it direct. So everything is direct feeling, hearing, seeing, receiving. You just have to get out of the whole filter system to be here. What do you do for a sunset or a sunrise? What do you do in your exercise when you're having a good time? What do you do with your dog when you're loving your dog, taking it for a walk or giving it a hug or letting it lick your face? All those micro moments throughout life that are truly joyful, you can't be up here. Up here is thinking about mowing the lawn. Down here is really enjoying it, having music in, going slow and enjoying the cut itself if you're an aficionado of Bermuda grass or St. Augustine. Um, Same thing with art, painting, singing, dancing. There's literally 2 million ways to be here, but the brain and mankind's human nature side has 40 million ways to tell you it's not possible to be here. And that it has to be in control, and it has to control information, and it has to control how you think, breathe, act, and everything else. So it's really about being to be or not to be, as Shakespeare said. And a lot of our great figures throughout history have touched on this flow and then shared it with others. Plato, Einstein, Marcus Aurelius, and so on. You get to meet all these figures. So they're unconditional love figures. If it's a veil, as some people like to say, if it's just dimensionality, as others would like to say, you get to see the figures that you're listening to directly. They're all unconditional love. They're not here to interfere. So this is about respecting who you are, your boundaries. You actually have to want to do something. You want to have to get out. Actually want to have to get out of sort of being shut tight like an oyster control and do the world is my oyster routine. And so you can have any answers to any questions. Here's a carrot. And that's all languages spoken, all dialects. People can do this as a group. I mean, I'm off the hook. People can do this jointly, hearing, seeing, feeling, full on seeing, jointly as a group. And there are photos of angels all over my website, all over my social media. There's a few videos, balls of light coming through. One time we had interdimensionality, multiple Jesuses flying through. That's according to the guest. You listen to her. She's fantastic. I'll have her on as much as I can. And that's something about the Angels Positivity and Love show. You get to listen to wonderful guests with amazing backgrounds from all over the globe. I think we're up to like, I don't know, 23 to 27 countries globally, all sorts of backgrounds. A White House physician to the US president, who's a retired rear admiral, but still an active physician in Arizona. Ian Stenlake, the Australian actor, just put on Amazon Prime, watch Sea Patrol Down Under in Australia, the Australian Royal Navy. Captain Mike Flynn. We've had that actor on who does a lot of like Broadway musical stuff. And then tons of healers with all sorts of backgrounds, from shaman to traditional healers this way and traditional healers that way, a lot of modalities, to international best-selling authors, scientists, psychologists, therapists, a SETI senior astronomer. Not everybody takes steps on the show with the universe, but I'd say we got a 90% plus rate, even higher than that. A lot of stuff happens off camera. The point of the show isn't to prove anything. The point of the show isn't to tell you you have to do something. So we sneak it in usually towards the end of the show. We're one of the very rare shows that has direct interaction with the universe. I don't think anybody's actually doing this. And then also, you can participate, you can have experiences. And so it's also one of those rare shows you really do want to stick around to the end. All the fun stuff, in my opinion, happens then. Absolutely, it's wonderful to listen to experts on a variety of topics, take steps with them, and so on. But I light sage, and you can smell sage through two screens. There's no time and space the way you think. This is about being positive. Positivity is abundance. It's about not knowing anything, not being up here analyzing. You can't be up here thinking about catching the baseball when you're supposed to be catching the baseball. Being in the heart is like a giant catcher's mitt. You don't have to worry about batting, pitching, the dugout. You don't have to clean the dugout. You don't have to be the bat boy. And you certainly don't have to be out in left field doing any outfielding. And you don't have to be up in the box calling the score as an announcer. You just have to let go of what you think you know long enough to breathe, smile, be in your heart, and receive all with a capital A. That's all this is, and there's no limits. So the hugs you get can become healing. This is about angels, beings of light, loving beings wanting to help mankind out, to be more open, a little less war, a little less nuclear weapons, a little less judging everything, judging your neighbor, judging yourself, a little more love, self-love, a little more walking a smoother path. And that's collectively as well. It's in the cards for mankind. I think you're going to see it a lot sooner than people realize. I think spirituality has done a wonderful job for the last 50 years trying to set the table a little bit for this change, but I think it's a human nature thing that the second you discover something, you discover that Seth, a light being who you can meet and chat with and see a little bit. He's the only one out of hundreds of figures that it's more like a disembodied, non-corporeal energy form, Cheshire cat in the sky. Everybody else pretty much you can see full on. You discover Seth, you think Seth is wonderful, you become part of the Seth Club. And that's it. You follow Seth for the next 40 years and you stay pretty rigid about it. Seth is wonderful. But then maybe you discover Esther Hicks, maybe you abandon Seth and you love Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, more light beings. And then you get on the Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks bandwagon, law of attraction. Again, wonderful. But the brain has a way of saying, okay, I've arrived. Once you've achieved or had some sort of failure, you're shut tight like an oyster all over again. Why do anything new? And this breaks, hopefully, all the modalities because anyone can pick up intuitive skills, healing skills, or opening skills, or listening skills. You can use your hands more. If you hadn't used your hands before, you can get them, quote, activated. All this lingo and terminology, call it ascension if you want, but instant Shaktipat, if you want to use an India term. It's kind of ditching the way we've been brought up. If you were raised in a spirituality community, this is very instant. You get to see light flowing from my hands, light on everything, auras, chakras, call it whatever you want, Shaktipat, prana, mana, Shakti. But when an angel or a figure from India passed over, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Rama, somebody touches you on the forehead, you can get ripples of light passing through you. There's no one way for the delivery of light. I like to do it creatively. And what's cool is everything is delivered your way. Angels just tend to know where you are on the whole scale. From super nervous Nelly, you're never going to take a step. You're shut tight like an oyster. We'll call it a 0. All the way to 1,000, you're loosey-goosey yelling, what's next, doing cartwheels between every step with angels in the universe. And then there's all of us in between. And guess what? On Tuesday, you were a 1. On Wednesday, you were ready to go and did great. And then 2 Wednesdays later, you're shut tight like an oyster again. Welcome to being a human. Are you here or are you up here? One's like a hot stove. Another is pure bliss. As Joseph Campbell, Meet Joe, says, follow your bliss, follow your heart. Yeah. So I'm going to light some sage. The only rule or structure I've got is give yourself a break and set your intent. What's that look like? Well, set your intent. What do you do to go have a great time outside? Just be like, hey, universe, I'd love to have a great time outside. And hey, I give myself permission to have a great time outside and talk to your higher self, your soul, who's you already are. You're fully connected all the time, except that, yeah, being up here is what throttles or chokes out all the fun in life. And all the love that you could be, and all the sparkle you could be, and all the sparkle you could be sharing with others too. So let's keep it real simple. Just ask angels to make it nice, get you out of your head into your heart, own it with a thank you, amen, rock and roll. That's really it. I have one unofficial rule. It's breathe through your mouth. There's a bunch of nose breathers out there. Don't worry about it. But if you could breathe through your mouth, that'd be great. Your shoulders should be going up and down. So you're doing full letting go, full dropping into your body. And voila, that's it. So no time and space means you can catch this sage smoke. I've done this as a guest, I don't know, 65, 70 times on other people's shows in the last 2.5 years. And then I'm going to say 90%, 95% of my guests have caught the scent of sage on my show as guests. You can follow along, play it over again, allow for the sage. Close your eyes if you need to, put your hand on your heart. I'll tell you one holiday dad joke because 'tis the season. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's. Starbucks. Catch sage, leave your eyes on the smoke. Breathe extra. Make sure your mouth is open 1 or 2 millimeters. Breathe, relax, catch the sage. But when you do get it, close your eyes. Ask angels, the universe, to bring you flowers now. You want to catch a little light on your shut eyes. Let an angel named Joy bring you a little bit of pink light on your eyes. Could be geometric pattern, tie-dye shirt pattern. See a flower, see a rose. Catch a flower scent. Roses. Rosa rugosa from Nantucket, the stuff that beach plum jelly gets made from. Hibiscus from Hawaii. It's up to you. But you might as well catch an ocean as well. It's a triple tiered tiramisu with no calories. What will you allow for is the rub. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. But all of mankind, the psychological associations of the world, the people who know this, the people who know that, and this organization over there, that's all about suffering and bliss and all the rest. They tell you, nah, there's all these rules, regulations. You got to join our club. You got to do it our way. You got to understand it this way. That's just more generally egoic thinking. So if it's words, generally speaking, it's thinking. And welcome to being human. I'm going to go right back to thinking as soon as I finish recording this. I'm probably doing some thinking right now, but there's a lot of joy to be had too. And that's all you have to do is get out of what you know, drop into your heart, and we're going to start doing some feeling and seeing in just a second. Catch that sage. It's a Crate and Barrel tea light, the blue, just to protect the rainbow thing, the shell, abalone, I guess. Catch the sage, allow for the sage, close your eyes, catch flowers, catch a Maui ocean breeze if you want. I'll blow my microphones up top today. Close your eyes and catch Maui, Hawaii coming in. And I'll put up an angel named Joy, sneak a peek. She's Joy, the ambassador communicator for the whole enchilada. She's kind of cosmic. Think of her as like an archangel in terms of very broad. Big Mary once said, love is everywhere. Love's a constant. Open your eyes to find love. I guess that's what I'm kind of trying to say. It's just a constant. You never lost a step, skipped a beat, or missed anything. Although your brain will tell you your whole life story said, no, 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 no. I had this divorce happen. I had cancer. I got into the car wreck. All this stuff pulled me out of love. I couldn't be the shiny, sparkly, happy person I was before because I got kicked off the professional football team. I'm no longer a footballer. Your joy is not situationally dependent on other people, situations, which job, which sports team you're part of, or what you're doing externally. It's a constant that you're simply tapping into by breathing and being. And that is probably the number one love lesson on the planet. Peaceful Warrior Dan Millman, we tried to get him on a couple times in 2023, 2024. It's not going to happen. Maybe in 5 years, if we have a big audience, we'll see. But by then, I'll have an assistant, not have to worry about it. But if you've read his book, seen his movie, Dan Millman's movie is Peaceful Warrior. Nick Nolte, Amy Smart, Scott Meklowitz, the gas station attendant, an angel named Herb. You can meet him. Looks like Jeff Bridges, big kahuna style gold chain, tuft of hair, Hawaiian shirt. When he walks on a beach, if your eyes are shut and you see him in flip-flops, he owns the beach. You get a hug from him, you'll be like, thank you, sir, may I have another, if you're female and love getting hugs. Absolutely wonderful coach for all things, and he's helped mankind out throughout the years, or the decades, or throughout the centuries in our development, let's say. There's a lot of angels who are broad in their way that they handle stuff. They're here to help us with our development, our expansion, our growth. So if I've learned a few things in 13 years, it's the following. Where you put your focus is where you put your focus. How you spend your energy is how you spend it. That's not going to change. Anything I say, you're still going to spend your energy the way you spend it. If it's NFL and you don't like the New York Jets, but you love the Giants, you're not going to like the New York Jets tomorrow, or the other way around, or sushi, or you only eat sushi on Thursdays. People do the wildest, coolest thinking, and that's the contrast, as Esther Hicks says, that makes this planet so much fun. But if you look at everybody's thinking, a lot of it cancels each other out, like sine waves or cosine waves, however that works. The point is, once you start removing all the arbitrary thinking, and again, not telling how people should roll, live your life, do what you're going to do. You're going to do it anyhow. Just have a little more fun, breathe more, show more love always if you can. That's the name of the game. But I'm here to remind you that angels exist. Like, hey, beings of love, light, who are within you, around you, if you want to call them interdimensional, fine. They already know you fully. They know your first page of your life story here, all the way to the last page. They want you to have freedom of choice, free will. That's the only way you get your experience in this lifetime. They're not here to interfere, but they're totally here to help. All you have to do is be like, hey, angels, I could use all the help in the world right now. Thank you. Good enough, and now you can click off. But if you want to stick around, you can meet an angel, you can see light on my hands, and take some other steps. So angels exist. Allow for this possibility in your answers, and much more will come. And then allow for more in each moment. If I had to add my own kind of ad lib here, positivity itself is abundance. And I think that was Archangel Michael who said that. Anything fancy that I've said that you think was kind of cool or good, it's me doing this for 13 years, regurgitating something that an angel said or a Native American chief said, Don't Life for Richard Geronimo, Crazy Horse, or so on. Plato said, Mother Teresa said, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha. It's big, and you can meet God. The only way I've done God is, all voices at once speak simultaneously is the way I describe it. I've never had anybody try to see God. It never even occurred to me, but I've said that a couple times on the shows. Everyone else, though, you can see full on, like Plato standing next to Jesus, standing next to Buddha. Plus, you can do passed over loved ones. Own the angel part first. And again, any answers to any questions. If you're asking about your neighbor's business that you have no business asking about, you'll be told to move on. But generally speaking, if you have the guts to show up, this is the scariest thing in the world. I don't care if you were at Omega, Kripalu, you founded Kripalu, you're an Oprah Super Soul Sunday guest, an international best-selling author. This stuff scares the bejesus out of half the spiritual crowd. And even if you do it today on a Sunday, it doesn't mean you'll ever talk to me again a week from now, because no one's used to doing this much openness, this much love. And then there's miracles to be had. What will you allow for? There's no limits. Some stuff's written, though. So if you're asking like to fix a medical condition and it was meant to either slow you down or you signed up for it, and this is part of your life path, you're supposed to have this complex medical condition for 5 years. It's kind of a training period for you to pay attention more and to get blah, 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 and boop, boop, and blah, blah. And it's part of your life path. So I always stay out of people's situations medically or other job and everything else. I don't see your questions anymore. I don't see your answers. I just make sure you get the airplane out of the hangar. You talk to the air traffic control folks, which is angels. You got a co-pilot who's an angel. You make sure you practice a little bit with the stick and the communication and the instruments and stuff. You have a flight plan. But pretty soon you're soaring around doing barrel rolls and you know how to land the plane, no problem. I stick around, but I make sure you get your answers, but you get them directly. So I like what I do. It's a very, I think it's the word would be like integrity, because you do your own listening. You do your own feeling. Now it takes guts. I've had a few people over the last like 10 years, 13 years, like 2 or 3 have had huge egoic reactions. That happens. They'll take it out on you in a heartbeat. That's what the ego does, is blame everybody, but take responsibility for being a little more love directly with the human we're talking about. That happens. And everything is your own instruction or your own lesson. So it's a good lesson to have. I think meeting passed over loved ones is super important, but I think the bigger lesson first is just to practice being here, taking breaths, realizing that everything is sort of for a reason, and that you can relax more into the moment, and then everything sort of sorts itself out. There's a broader consciousness that can be had in each moment. And then there's trillions of layers of that. So even though you think you graduated to something, even though you might have had success at some level, and your book sales prove it, your seminars prove it, the growth and expansion never stops. So it's real easy to get stuck, whether we're talking achievement or failures as we view them. Your business failed, your marriage failed, your job failed. It's easy to let the ego take over, like a Julie McCoy from Love Boat with a clipboard, and be like, well, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way, and therefore you have to be this way. It's actually not that way at all. It's no way. It's all ways. And that's love. And so, Peaceful Warrior, there's a scene, I think, at the bar. Nick Nolte's kind of the Mr. Miyagi figure from Karate Kid, wipe on, wipe off. It's sort of like an adult Karate Kid film. It's very safe. It's very Disney-esque. Gymnastics, you wouldn't know it's a spirituality movie, but it is. Nick Nolte's sitting at the bar with, I guess it's Dan, when he was a kid in college in the 1960s. He's sitting at the bar, and or he's at the bus stop. That's it. They've just been robbed. They're down to their skivvies. But he's trying to explain that it's the last place people want to go is their heart. And that's where all the action is, all the growth and all the experience that you're supposed to have in this lifetime, where it resonates or originates from, or where you're supposed to be. And then there's two other sources that say the same thing. Seth, that it's not going to be found externally. Nothing's going to be found externally. It's not about gaining anything here or losing anything here. This is Angels, and for my Listening to Angels book now. So it's not about gaining anything here or losing anything. Move past seeing the negative. It is about going through the world that you know, which there's a trillion variations of, and there's groupings of people. All the people who do yoga at Kripalu, all the people who follow the scientific method of meditation, or the transcendental meditation crowd in the 1970s, or Buddhism, this lineage, or India, that lineage, or the aura chakra people, or the orbs crowd. I feel like I've seen it all now for 40,000 different groups out there, but that thinking and that group orientation can actually be very limiting. You're wide open 24/7. And you just have to actually get out of what you know, and get out of your routines, and get out of your organization, and just be in the full present moment, connected to all, to get your answers, get your hugs, see full on. And you can have all your skills expanded. I don't care which way you do it. Have an angel put a hand on your shoulder and feel it and expand. They'll work it out with you. There's a million ways to do it. They'll figure it out. All you have to do is set your intent and let them do their jobs. Okay, so there's something going on with expansion, and awareness is on the horizon for mankind. I'll show my light in a second, then I'll read a page from Listening to Angels about why this is such a big deal for mankind again, what's on the horizon for man. Okay, so when I show you my light, I'm going to use the hand motions that you see in Celestine Prophecy, but as I had a guest, Sue Frederick, on this past summer in 2024, she said, nah, in the 1970s, they were doing it this way before that movie even existed. And then in India, they do it this way, so it doesn't really matter. You can just see some light between my fingers, but I never like to settle for just one way for anything. I like to keep changing it up, let it grow organically, blame angels. I'm going to put my fingers up, you'll see my light, but then ask the universe, once you get cocky and confident and you're like, yep, check that box. I see purple, gold, and green, light flowing, stream of light between his fingers. Ask the universe to make more between my fingers. And why don't I put up joy first, so you can at least have one angel, big angel. Ask joy, put your hand out like she's a fireplace, and on your palm, feel some sparkle, some zip, some warmth. There's 1,000,000 ways to feel her. Try too hard, feel whooshing on your back, sparkle on your toes. Breathe through your mouth if you're not breathing through your mouth. I usually have to remind everybody once a minute on that. Feel what you can feel, don't judge. Now ask her an easy question. Hey, Joy, what do I need to know in life right now? Hear a little peppy voice back. For 1 second, it's your inner voice. And the second you really breathe and let go and relax about this, you're going to hear a hey and hear an answer. Now, ask her if she's there. Hear a duh. Ask her a question, get an answer, get a hug. Bravo, that's it. Look up, see some pink light, pink heart, see a pink floating ball go by. Doesn't have to be pink, little silver flecks of light like fish breaking the surface of the water on the ceiling, where the ceiling meets the wall somewhere in your room. Further away, the easier it is. If you need to, look out a window In the tree canopy, pick one branch. And if it's 3 tennis courts away, it's a heck of a lot better than the short little distance here. The brain is so jittery. It's why science is so limiting and everything else is so limiting. It has to all fit into a narrow wooden block thing that kids play with when we're not even talking about the table or the room that the toy is in. We're talking about the universe and mankind as a species and awareness and a much greater harmony or flow going on, or consciousness itself, awareness. Even the consciousness institutes. Um, you can, if you're a scientist all about consciousness, you can walk with angels in human form and talk about consciousness and get your damn formulas filled out or your answers. They know exactly where you are and where you're stuck or how you're approaching it, which is usually probably not the wrong way, but the long way. You're going to take 30 years to discover something that you could have just asked about like that. Why would anyone want to do that? If you're human, you probably don't. You don't want it the easy, quick, efficient, like why waste a lot of energy way. You have to go the long route. That's just the way it seems that humans run and work. We tend to be very efficient, but we tend to think we're highly efficient. We think we're at the top of the efficiency chain when it comes to energy. But I mean, I've never met anybody who's running out the door and saying, I'm going to waste all my energy all week long. And then I'm going to see if I can do it the week after and do it for 2 months straight. Maybe I can go for a decade wasting as much energy. But that's what, generally speaking, thinking is for the most part. I'm not trying to knock thinking. I'm going to be doing thinking the rest of my day. But as Charlotte said, 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal, the Olympic standard here for all of this. And if you get a calculator out, and I'll do it if I've got a calculator here. I think I do. I keep forgetting what the amount is, but it would be 24 times 0.07 equals. It's 1.68 hours a day of less thinking. That means reading poetry, being in a pool, hugging your dog, take a nap. That is, nirvana. How about that? That is arriving to your heart. That is becoming more aware or awake with the universe's help. But that's all it takes, is just a little more letting go. All right, let's do some more fun. I can keep going on about this forever. We tend to, with our thinking, create bricks. And with the bricks, we make walls. And the more you're part of an organization or identify in a role or something else that's one of those human things, you tend to manufacture brick walls a lot faster. That's just the way it is. Welcome to being human. Okay, here's a black background, but a blue sky works great. You get one dad joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee, Blitzen and Dancer? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. See a filament of light between my fingers. Is it gold, green, yellow? Say the color out loud. Now ask for more from the universe. Ask for more colors. Put a hand on your heart. Exhale like a whale if you're having any trouble. Breathe more if you're having fun. Let the shoulders go up and down. Don't try to see this. Do not. There is no try. But now ask the universe to come in and do sparks, stars, hearts, green clovers, a geometric pattern, a ball of light between my fingers and the filament, a butterfly. We've had everything by now. You can watch the shows. Guests are doing the seeing and they have more come in. We have mind, body, spirit panels, 3 guests. They chat for 90 minutes or sometimes 110 minutes. And oftentimes they do group stuff, group seeing, group hearing. They feel each other's energy. Okay, you can play that over or watch the shows. I'll put my hand out. You can feel my vibe through 2 screens. The screens don't mean anything. If I put up an angel on my iPhone, you're on one screen, my screen, and your screen. That's 3 screens. Stuff happens. You can see a ball light in my hand. It goes through 2 screens into your hand. Bring it in for a hug. You're not going to hurt the angel. It goes on and on. You can full on see an angel standing there or out in the yard, or if you're in a neighborhood, 20 houses away if you're nervous, 3 houses away if you're cool. If you're really groovy, easy, open, across the street or right here. You can feel an angel hold your hand, full on human. What does no limits look like? It certainly isn't about science or an organization or you're this role, this title, or this learned. What's that word for people who are totally... There's people walking around so that they've completely arrived mentally or they're in their heart. I've never met anybody who is, but I've had one person I've met who's claimed it. This it's a constant ebb and flow for us between here and here. It's Scrooge, Christmas Carol. Beginning of the book, we all agree he's up here. He's a jerk. He's down to dental floss for his connection to the universe. And this is particularly relevant given the time of year it is. We're like 3 days away from Christmas. But it's really easy to judge Scrooge, just as it's really easy to judge that politician or the person who lives 4 doors down that everybody in the neighborhood agrees is a jerk. But what this is about is love, and love doesn't judge. If you judge someone, to quote Mother Teresa, you have no time to love them. And so the ultimate lesson is love, and love is opening openness itself. And I love this quote before I do anything else. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger or just down the street needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment, so too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassionate to all, do it. An angel said that. And I try to say that on every show that I can remember to remember, if I can remember to remember. And I think that's the real rub, is we don't remember very much. What will you allow for? Good luck with it. We're usually like a broken wristwatch with the traditional hands that's correct twice a day. By accident, we show a little love each week. Again, I've never met anybody who says, I'm going to run out and waste as much energy as I can, but this is exactly what we do with 99.99999% of our thinking. Most of it's a complete waste of time. There's nothing to gain here. There's nothing to lose. You have to realize what a flow looks like when you're in your heart. That's when you paint the watercolor painting you're so good at in just 45 minutes. It normally takes you 2 hours, but you were in the flow. You loved it. Everyone loves the art. You are that painting. You were one with the paintbrush and the canvas or whatever. And it's the same with sports, photography, singing, cooking. You just make a great salad that everyone loves, or just letting go, putting your feet up, enjoying the clouds go by. There's, again, a million ways to be here. There's 40 million ways to be here. And boy, when you're up here, our ego likes to go then collective. There's a slipstream of global unconsciousness or unlove. How about unlove and love? Or density and light? There's a slipstream of global density or unconsciousness or unlove, and we love to bash collectively. We love to know what we know, and we could be completely correct. Well, our calculations say this, that's a non-performer, that person sucks at what they do, and we're correct. They suck at what they do. But it's not how the universe really works. This is about love and light and openness and allowing for people's transformation in frequency, higher vibration, less density. When you can remember to remember, if you can remember, that's the rub. So I love a Joe Shu saying, the whole Zen thing, Blue Cliff Notes, Lao Tzu, Lao Tse, however you pronounce it. But Joe Shu is another Zen master, and there's the whole endless quotes of all different varieties, where the student comes running up to the master, the Zen master, trying to show that he's arrived here and he's ready to become a Zen master, and he can graduate from class and maybe put his own shingle out and become a Zen master himself. So a student comes running up to the Zen master, Joe Shu, and says, what about it when I seek to be Buddha? And the teacher says, what a tremendous waste of energy. And this one's not a quitter, so he's got a comeback that's pretty good. Here's the retort. Well, what about it when I don't waste my energy? And he goes, in that case, you are Buddha. So it's about paying attention more. Where are you putting yourself? How are you flowing your energy? What are you doing with your energy? Are you thinking all the time? Are you judging all the time? Are you self-judging? Or are you self-love, loving others? You can still be the best business person in the world. Christmas Carol, Scrooge, end of the book. He's the biggest joy bringer, the biggest open dude. I can't come up with the awakened, mindful. There's some big word people use in the spirituality community that when you've completely arrived, you're never going to have thinking again. You're enlightened. That's it. I mean, Scrooge is actually the only person I've ever heard of that's enlightened. 79 pages later, at the end of the book, he's enlightened. He still does good business, knows how to smile, knows how to have a conversation with people on the street and make their day, and still stick to his path and walk a smooth path. I don't think we view Scrooge that way. We tend to just judge it the way he is at the beginning of the book. So be it. We do a lot of judging, and we do not so much like wishing people well for transformation and so on. Okay, so I'm going to show my light. I showed my light already. I'll do something else. I'll put my hand up. You can feel my vibe. Treat me like a fireplace. I'll tell another dad joke so we can lighten this up a little bit, literally. Santa and Mrs. Claus are at their summer retreat. They get June off every year. They earned it. Can't tell you where they live. Fine, twist my arm. near Banff, Canada, palatial property. They're on their back patio looking at the sunset going down mountain range. Mrs. Claus is next to Santa. When out of the corner of her eye, she sees clouds, lightning bolts, something's coming their way. So she turns to Santa and says, "Looks like reindeer." Okay, put your hand up, feel my vibe, and only the highest intent, love and above. Let angels, joy, and everybody filter out anything else and take it out over the Pacific or to outer space. Feel my vibe, feel what you can feel, don't judge. Breathe a little extra, exhale like a whale. If you're thinking about the car wreck from 2 years ago, or the family this, or I'm not worthy that, there's a million ways to do thinking. Most of it doesn't bring you love or inner calm or peace or harmony or tranquility. Feel what you can feel. And if you want to see a little light on my hands or on my, look at my nose, go to my forehead if you need extra help. See my aura on me. Allow, allow, allow. What do you do when you go to play tennis or to go for a walk? Do you judge every footstep? You'd never enjoy your walks. How do you fall asleep at night, brush your teeth? You're doing it all day long. The act of letting go, turning on the shower, enjoying the shower, singing to Italian opera music when you're in the shower, if you know how to sing. How do you turn a page in a book while you're in the book, enjoying an Agatha Christie novel? I'm trying to tell you that that enlightenment is what you're experiencing all day long. But you have a Julie McCoy cruise director called Ego, Intellect, Logos, Rationale, and Reason. Western society, heavy thinking and knowing, that precludes the possibility of you already having arrived before when you were born. You have it all. There's nothing to lose, nothing to gain here. You have flipping a light switch. Are you the one time you flipped a light switch 3 weeks ago? Are you still agonizing about it? Did you not do it quick enough? Did you do it too quickly? Do you need to get an electrician? It didn't seem like the lights came on instantly. There looked like there could have been a little delay. The last time I checked, ego can, if it cared, and it doesn't view light switches as important at all, it only has to do with cousins, relationships, health, this crisis, that crisis, so it can have control over you. So you can be out of your heart, not enjoying life. And this is what I'm trying to talk about. The second you realize what the jig is up. As soon as you realize that it's not about control, what you know, this organization, this way to meditate, this way to remote view, this show, and the way you were told it is with the drones in New Jersey or anything else, the second you're technically liberated for 5 seconds. Each moment can truly be the same, and you can experience a lot of love. And the now, can you keep it up? Welcome to being human. Don't worry about if you can't remember to remember, if you can remember to remember in each moment. You're going to forget all the time. The real opportunity, though, is reminders. Let your ego, when it pops up, it's not going away, but it can be in the back seat forevermore of the car. You're in the driver's seat with your heart once you figure this stuff out. Let ego serve as a reminder for what you decide. How about a breath? How about a smile? How about to light a candle behind glass safely? Light an incense stick, call a person up that you know and ask how they're doing, but listen, mindfully. Let me read a little passage and we'll take some more steps together. What's up with mankind? Why angels now? This is from my little Listening to Angels book. It's now $7.99 in 2024 at Amazon. Just go to amazon.com/author/angels. It's been a #2 Amazon bestseller twice. I don't think anyone gets to claim #2 twice with an Anita Morjani review. Thank you, Anita Morjani. Happy New Year in 2025. Merry Christmas. You're always invited on the show as often as you'd like to come on. What's up with mankind? Why angels now? Awareness for mankind is on the horizon. Call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. It's a chance for all to grow. Mankind's ready for more unconditional love and compassion for all. And more compassion by all, for all, is needed. Mankind's ready for change from rat race mode. Happiness is obtained in the absence of ego. Ego's afraid to be vulnerable, to let go, and to be in the unknown. Again, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Move past seeing the negative. See, I regurgitate stuff. This is angels talking. I just saw balls of light as I typed. And that's the cover of the book. 2 balls of light, 2 angels there. Compassion can be taught through one's actions. How? Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Doing it consistently is where the problems and opportunities lie. So stay present. Start right now. Letting go means less thinking. Do not get lost in perceived tasks, roles, ego, what you know, and all the other gunk that makes up most of our society stuff, etc. Being in the moment itself is to do compassion for all. If you go out and exercise, that's doing compassion. For individuals, an egoless path would be great, but it's just not realistic. Allow ego to serve as a reminder when it pops up, a reminder for what you decide. How about a reminder to breathe? How about a reminder to enjoy each moment as it comes? Believe that all moments can be the same. Whether it's a moment at work or a moment looking at nature, all moments are the same and peaceful. Only thinking something can interfere with this. It's what you know. My situation is, my problem is I have 16 dogs. You don't understand my situation. I have 5 kids, Mike. I can't handle this. I'm doing da 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 each week. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck there. My problem is this is happening to me. My health situation, this. I mean, we could keep going on all day long, and that would be an entire show of what happens to people. But the opportunity that each situation presents is an opportunity to shine more love, be more love, expand your consciousness so that that situation's in the rearview mirror. And guess what's going to happen? Ebb and flow in life, you're going to get more situations. But the sooner you can go all Thich Nhat Hanh about this, the sooner you can realize that everything is your opportunity to breathe, to smile more, to relax, to show love always. Okay, likewise, there are not separate paths for mankind or separate worlds for individuals. One is one. Through awareness and owning the consequences of one's thoughts and actions, a person begins to see how all of life is truly interconnected and one. Faith in all can lead to a change in mankind. This is the path for all of man. This is about man bringing peace and joy to all. This is about your own personal growth in your life and finding the next stage in your soul's development, as well as the continued evolution of mankind. The greatest gift is allowing. All is growth and change. This is frightening for some. There's nothing to do here. Slow down the doing. This is instead, breathe, smile, and relax. Appreciate all. Compassion for all is life. This is also about acceptance for all. Regard others as yourself generously and without fixation. Believe in all. It is much simpler than people think. Again, this is because this is not about thinking, but less thinking. Open yourself up to life. Speak with us, angels. Be. I did not write it. Angels were showing up. If anybody thought I wrote this, you're the best. Put that in the note column. If you really think I wrote that, and you've heard me talk, and if you've watched any of the others, I try to get this message home that you have it all here in the heart. You've already won the lotto. You have the ticket. You actually just have to, like, if you don't mind reaching in your pocket and looking and seeing that you won the damn lotto thing, cash it in right now. Angels will help you. Turn to angels and be like, hey guys, I did win the lotto. He's correct. Let's cash it in. Do it in dream time. I don't want to know what's going on. I just want to have more synchronicity, more fun, more spontaneity, more sparkly-eyed people yelling at me through 2 screens saying something about compassion, love, and enlightenment in each moment. You can meet Plato. You can see the old man's face in the photo if I move it around okay here. Mustache, 2 eyes, nose. No hugs for him. They're sweaty, but he's great for clarity on where you are in life right now. Here's my book cover. The kind of whitish silver one is Min, my guardian angel, but 80,000 other people's guardian angel. And the blue one is Charlotte. Here's Charlotte and here's Min a different way. There's no one way about these photos. Go to my website. I've got tons of photos of angels. There's videos on the website. I got 101 testimonials. You've got people, comments from videos on YouTube that are saying, hey, I smelled the sage. I saw the light. I felt your energy. Feel what you can feel. Don't judge. And just because you did it Tuesday doesn't mean your brain's going to allow you to do it the next Wednesday or the other way around. Your brain's going to want to rule the roost. So if you discover something here and you get a little bit of an acceleration or openness, you can do that. Is that so? Shrug in a good way. And don't attach any importance to it. So you can just do it again like that. Let me think of something else you can do. Ask Joy if you can do this here. Heck yeah. Close your eyes and let her show up as pink light on your eyelids. Ask her a question. The safest, most fun, coolest question is, hey, what do I need to know in life right now? If you only ask that for the rest of your life, you'd be rock star groovy good. That's it. What do I need to know? What should I do next? What do you got for me? Angels would know how to serve it up to you just right. This is all about hospitality, not customer service. Customer service is here. That's what everybody who's human does. We're talking hospitality, way beyond the norms for spirituality, way beyond the norms for science, way beyond the norms for the way mankind interacts with themselves, man interacts with each other, and all the rest. There's something going on that's helping us expand the frequency of the planet rising, expanding, us expanding for those who want to, have fun, participate. There's a lot of galactic beings. Anybody who thinks we're the only casino on the Vegas Strip has never been to Vegas before or looked around much. You can meet Pleiadians, Syrians, people from Sirius, unconditional love figures, not here to interfere. Arcturians, what am I skipping? Lyrans, Orioninians. I don't know how to say it right. Folks from Orion, and I'm still skipping another one in there. Anyhow, a fun crowd. Light beings exist, fairies exist. I've got photos of fairies. Any one loving figure could do it all for getting you your answers and for helping you just relax a little and take a breath in the moment. There are shapeshifters of all types, bad, neutral, and good ones. There's Jinn, unconditional love Jinn, and other types of Jinn. Don't worry about the other types. But there's an East Asian fellow who's petite, like a Winnie the Pooh, who represents East Asian mysticism. He's sparkly and joyful and loves, full of knowledge. If you're into knowledge, you could chat with him for hours and hours on end. There's healing to be had. That's between you and angels. Again, whatever situation you're in, you need healing. In my work, seeing where people are at, a lot of our situations are meant to slow us down so we could appreciate more, allow more. All those big words that start with the letter A, allowing, appreciation, attention, what else? Awareness, angels, and so on. Let me read you some quotes, see where this takes us. But I want to remind you, you can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. That's a lot to take in. And if you want to take in a couple shows, right now, Bravo Valente is on the Angels, Positivity, and Love show at YouTube. It's got to be one of the most unique shows out there. We have a tiny little audience, in the thousands. But we have the most amazing guests, and they have the most amazing experiences to share with us. They're sharing their energy whether they know it or not. Bravo Valente is an artist, a medium, and more, photographer and other stuff. But his big philosophy is, thank you, I love you. Can you beat that? He's like an Indian guru, but living in LA with a mantra to hand to you. Thank you, I love you. No matter what the situation is, thank you, I love you. So I had to mention that. Check him out on the show. He loved taking steps on air. I'll have him back a lot. If you're seeing a guest over and over again, it's because they're really fun. I don't want to have somebody on who's less than wildly fun. So I love to have guests on who are fun. I don't think I said that the right way, but it's all good. And I will still have guests on who don't take steps on the show, and that's okay too. I want the full contrast on the show, and I think we're doing it. But I think we're getting really lucky in that we have really like positive. You can feel their vibe. When they take steps, you take steps. You can kind of feel where they're coming from. This is all about like saying yes to the universe, saying yes to that big heart, whether you knew you had a big heart or not, saying yes to a broader, shinier you. So that Angels, Positivity, and Love show was wonderful. I think we're 31 episodes booked out, no longer to February of 2026. We're shifting from 3 shows a week to 2 in a few weeks in 2025. That's extending the show guest list all the way up to August 13th or 20th or something of 2026. So we're booked full next year. Always have a little bit of wiggle room. If you're a wannabe guest, get in touch. If it's your staff getting in touch or a publicist, I charge you $50. I asked for a $50 donation. Not everybody does that. Like, I should say it the other way. Like 7% of the crowd at best does a little $50 donation. Thank you for those who have donated. Thank you. It really helps a lot, defray costs and everything else. But the show is really special. And again, if you stick around to the end, there's a lot that happens, and you can participate in that, feel it, smell it, sense it, hear it, and so on. Now, let's do a couple random quotes and see where it leads. If you have to be sure of what you're experiencing in the now, like you're checking everything, you're doubting it, you will always subordinate reality of present to the certainties of the past. That's Karl Hammerschlag, who just passed over, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. A Yale doctor first who knew it all, but got to an Indian reservation, and he's in their hospital working. And he had a medicine man tuck him under his wing and teach him the other side of life, how big the universe is, kind of spirituality. So he later became, I think, a psychotherapist. He double majored almost in life. And he taught everything he learned to everybody else. And he has a beautiful book called The Dancing Healers. He has also The Theft of the Spirit. Two beautiful books to check out. I think he palled around with Patch Adams when he was alive, loved goofy stuff, wearing a clown nose or dressing in a funny way because he felt laughter was a great way to crack a person wide open and help them remember what they had forgotten. I do the same thing with dad jokes or showing light or blowing sage or rub your hands in a circle. Good enough. 3 seconds is good. Give yourself permission to let go. And you're watching in the privacy of your apartment, your flat, the park, a house, a car. Yell to the universe, I'm ready. Bring it to me. Catch a little Hawaii right now. I'm going to blow through the microphone up top. Close your eyes if you need extra help. I'll do it again. Catch a little sea spritz on the nose. I'm going to blow you a little bit of Hawaii right now. And here it goes. Catch a little sea spritz here. Close your eyes if you want to. So here are a couple more quotes randomly to see what else comes up. And that's the last quote that I did. If you're doing thinking, you're not actually here. So if you're thinking about mowing the lawn, you're not mowing the lawn. If you're thinking about hugging your dog, you're not hugging your dog. There's doing action with no thought. That's being in your heart. Athletes know it when they're on the field, having a good time, letting go. Here's another one from Wayne Dyer. You can meet him, chat with him. You can speak with the professor who did The Power of Myth, Joseph Campbell. You can talk with Joe, see Joe. The components of anxiety, stress, fear, and anger do not exist independently of you. They simply don't exist in the physical world. Wayne Dyer, you're the one generating what you're experiencing, whether you know it or not. It might take 2 lifetimes for you to allow for that. You think everything's just happening to you, but that's just your ego in charge doing a lot of narrow analysis, kind of like general science, and the lack of paying attention that mankind does, the lack of listening that mankind does. There's Archangel Uriel said it best. If more people would listen, less conflict would arise in any given situation. I'm going to start to wrap it up here, though. I'll do just, again, 2 more quick quotes. Luke, you're going to find, Luke from Star Wars, Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend on our own point of view. Obi-Wan from Star Wars. We're very thinking oriented. We're very structurally oriented. We're very organizationally oriented. We don't realize that even though we've been doing something successfully for 50 years, we're well known as a meditation teacher, a mindfulness teacher, a Buddhist teacher, a this teacher, a that teacher, that we're still limiting the filter that we operate through, and it can always be broader. It doesn't mean you're not doing great and can't keep doing what you're doing, but none of this is about details. Ultimately, it's about more flow, more harmony, more life, more fun. Who you are, here's Eckhart Tolle. Who you are requires no belief. In fact, every belief is an obstacle. That's what I was just trying to say. Every point in the value system that makes you up as an individual, a unique individual, there's 20 trillion points of value system references or beliefs. I don't like sushi. I don't like sushis on Tuesdays. I eat sushi, but not eel, mackerel, and sea urchin. Or right there, we probably have a trillion preferences. If it's NFL, we got a trillion preferences. We know this team is good, this team is not, this team's going to the Super Bowl, that quarterback's bad, this quarterback's good. We know our neighborhood. We know within our organization who the CEO is and what the actual value system is, but then we see what's actually happening and it doesn't match. And then the whole thing falls short of actual spirituality, love, or its potentiality. Welcome to mankind. So this isn't about judging all that. That would be like trying to hand out tickets at the Indy 500 and slap it on the windshield as the car goes by, race car goes by at 220 miles an hour. Good luck with that. This is about being in the moment, allowing, and you can have any answers to any questions. No limits. I think 49 pages is the record. Australians are amazing at this. I just check in every couple hours if it's going to be 9 hours. I don't do that anymore. But how many people are grabbing me for this? Does the physics world care about getting answers to their questions? Not really, not yet. They're going to need a wake up. And I would say if you could have 4,000 balls of light all over the globe above every country and every city so people could see it for 2 years straight and realize there's no threatening action happening. It's just the universe saying hi. I think we would exhaust all our thinking. We'd exhaust eventually all our bullets and missiles because at some point thinking would decide we got to shoot this stuff down. And if you're on the other side of the fence, you're pure love, pure light, just wanting to help mankind get out of the morass of suffering, lack of resources, specific narrow energy methods, whereas free energy and all the rest, walking a smoother path, breathing, being part of the galactic community, having your cake, eating it too, no calories. How about that? Just being a little more gentle, happy, loving, seeing light around you. Imagine what happens instead of ships everywhere for 2 years, so that eventually you exhaust yourself physically, mentally, all your thinking leads you nowhere. You've gone nowhere. In 2 years of ships above you and seeing lights and stuff, you've gone nowhere. Eventually, you might just say hi and then get a little bit of light on ships. You can see ships. You can meet a Pleiadian and chat about all this. You can meet Marcus Aurelius, Plato. You can chat with Einstein, Rumi, Alan Watts, Buddha, Kuan Yin, da 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 da. Your Uncle Joe, your Aunt Sarah. It's unbelievable how much we don't pay attention. We're like ostriches with their heads in the sand, and that's okay too, because it only means we have unlimited opportunity for growth, not a little bit of growth, not a little bit of expansion. Mankind as a whole has unlimited opportunity for growth. If it's about UFOs, UAPs, we've had a lot of those folks on. They can take steps with the universe and get jiggy with it and start having two-way chats and listening. There's no specific protocols or anything like that. This isn't remote viewing. This isn't working for the US government. This is direct. This is easy. It's love. You're doing it all day long. I'll do it this way. How about your intuition, your guidance, the little voice from Magnum PI in the 1980s with Tom Selleck? Who do you think the voice is? It's not just your higher self, your soul, when you're paying attention and listening. Sometimes it's your Aunt Martha. Sometimes it's Uncle Larry. Sometimes it's your guardian angel. But you would freak out if you directly heard their voice. Instead, it's easier that it's your voice, and you don't think twice about it. I got off a plane in Austin, Texas, first time I'd ever come to the city in around 2000, 2001, 2002. And I heard a little voice say, I'll move here one day. And I thought it was my voice. And I also have a great ability, like the rest of us, like you, to shove everything aside and not believe anything, or like it never happened sort of thing. And so I did that. But I did remember hearing that at one point. And then later I did buy a house. I think it was 6 years later, something like that. And here I am in Texas, no longer in Austin after 10 years. I'm in the north part of San Antonio, an hour south. But look, you have no limits. It doesn't help for some schmo in Texas to be telling you you have no limits. I mean, Tony Robbins tells you you have no limits. How's that working out? But with my show, with the book, you get to take direct steps with the universe. You get to trust what you already have. You get to see light flowing from you, with you, around you, or you get to hear your dog's voice. You can hear dogs. They're like third graders. What will you allow for? And now let's ditch the galaxy, universe, consciousness, compassion, gentleness, being here, being in the present moment, Eckhart Tolle, ditch it all. What are you allowing for right now in life? That's the rub. That's the rub for all of us. Are you having enough fun? Are you sharing enough sparkle with people? Are you throwing enough parties? Are you having fun with the career? Are you taking chances in a good way? It's kind of like a New Year's Eve or New Year's resolution: exercise, diet, this, that. I'm going to go on a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. The second resolution is, well, how am I going to figure out how to pay for it? The economy's been so bad for 4 years. That's what this is. It's a lot of thinking running around, and you get to grab a giant Hoover, that's the universe, and vacuum that stuff and clean up the whole picture. Get your feng shui going if you're a house. Let go of what you know long enough to catch a real breath. You don't have to go to get a physical, to have a stethoscope and a doctor to once a year take a deep breath. You don't have to sign up for a meditation mindfulness class. You don't have to go to a breathworks factory or instructor. You've already got it all within. So what will you allow for? That's up to you. I hope you're allowing for a wonderful, very surprising 2025. A lot more sparkle, light, compassion, humor. And I'll leave you with another dad joke or two. What do you call a really old snowman? Water. And if you could hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. It's free to subscribe to the show. And you should find some really amazing experts that resonate with you here and there, if not all the time. The book is really easy. It's a 15-minute read, one page forward, one page intro, 5 pages how to listen to angels. The appendix is one of the coolest parts of all the material you can find on my website, the YouTube channel, or in the books. The appendix is really big picture. It's all angels. They're explaining why angels now, what's this all about. And then there's an epilogue by an angel named Dale, who might have coached an Olympic athlete who won a lot of golds. That's like 3 pages, maybe 1.5 pages in real life. And it's just beautiful. It really resonates. I think I might have put that up on my website as sort of a sample page or two, so you can check it out there. My social media, if you go way back on it, has a lot of sample stuff. I'm doing less general social media posts and more just show specific. Thank you again. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, put a comment in. I've been doing this 13 years and I might as well have been doing it for 6 months for all we know. But it has been expanding. People's reactions are becoming more accepting, more allowing. It's still a 50-50 proposition. There's probably 5,000 no's, 5,000 yeses. But I'd say people are being more receptive than ever. And it is continually growing the menu of what you can experience and how you can expand. And thank you again. Merry Christmas. Happy 2025. Michael Andre Ford in San Antonio, Texas. Visit michaelandreford.com for the website. Pick up that book and leave me a comment or leave a book review if you could on Amazon. That'd be wonderful. Thank you again.